What's up, guys? Eli here, back for a movie review today. I don't do these very often, but it is something I'd like to do a little bit more of. So today we're going to be talking about the 2017 Leatherface. You might be asking why I'm doing reviewing a movie that's 5 years old, first of all. Second of all, being a movie that's, not hugely popular, even in the franchise that it comes from. I'm basically doing this because as many of you know, they just did a Texas Chainsaw Massacre reboot on Netflix. And, I am always a fan of seeing, where reboots might go. And that kind of just got me in a Texas Chainsaw Massacre mood. I realized I didn't have this movie and I couldn't remember if I'd actually seen it or not. So I went and picked it up for pretty cheap, gave it a watch, and here I am. I've basically always been a Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan. Leatherface is one of the earlier horror icons that kind of, really grabbed me and drew me in, and I just always had kind of a drawing to him for some odd reason. The 2002 Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake was, I think it was one of the first horror movies I'd ever seen in a theater. I was kind of a latecomer to horror. I was, back in 2002, I was just kind of starting to get into horror. And, I gotta say, I still have kind of a soft spot for that remake, and I think it holds up pretty well. I remember being kind of let down by the beginning. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre beginning was a prequel to the 2002 reboot, because this franchise, I mean, the storyline is just, it's all over the place. It's kind of a mess, to be honest. It's a fucking mess. And Texas Chainsaw 3, I don't know if you guys ever saw that. I found that movie just to be pure garbage. If I have seen this, I really don't remember watching it, which is probably not a good sign. But that is not uncommon for me after only seeing a movie once. Picked this up over the weekend, pretty damn cheap. I was hoping it would at least be worthy, or semi-worthy of being in my collection. And I just watched it earlier, and I definitely have thoughts. I will say now, I didn't hate this movie, but I definitely didn't love it. It's doubtful that I'll ever watch it again. So the storyline here is pretty much, it starts off with Leatherface as a young child. He lives with his mom and his two brothers. They're all crazy, of course. He's actually kind of the most sane one in the family. The family basically, they like to murder people. The mom and the grandparents and stuff, they're basically teaching their kids how to murder for some odd reason. So this basically, a story of childhood trauma, showing Leatherface being a young, vulnerable child and just being kind of forced into this life of violence. Fast forward a little bit, he's a teenager, him and his brothers. They end up getting picked up by the law. They get sent to like a sanitarium, basically. They're there for a while. Long story short, Leatherface ends up getting out when he's like in his mid-20s, and it just kind of goes from there. So, this is a prequel story. It's an origin story, I guess you could call it too. I don't know. I think this could have been a good movie with the right director, the right script, the right actors, and most of that just isn't here. The characters. I really didn't like most of the characters here, including Leatherface himself. The guy that played him was not convincing, and I don't know if that's his fault. The script is, partially to blame. The script wasn't convincing. The heavyset brother, because he has two brothers. The heavyset brother was kind of a likable character. The older brother was forgettable. The mom, she was just kind of the typical Texas Chainsaw Massacre family evil mom who, despite being a terrible person, she loves her kids, but still semi-forgettable. You get the sheriff here, played by Stephen Dorff. He was okay, but not compared to Arlie Ermey or Dennis Hopper, who he is basically emulating. So, we'll go to the good. There isn't a whole lot that I really liked about this movie. I would say the end scene, and sorry, spoilers, but the end scene where it shows Leatherface making his first human skin mask. Pretty cool, actually. I like, there's some nice touches in there. I like how he used a female face to make the mask. And then it also shows him at the end, he's putting lipstick on, which was a cool nod to Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Even though that is not a great movie by any means, I felt like that really worked, and just a cool nod to past past lore, if you will. So that's kind of all I really liked about the movie, and then we'll go to the bad. So, first off, the things that are made clear within the first few minutes is this is a pretty violent, it's a pretty visceral, violent film. I feel like it tries to outdo the rest of the franchise in that area, and I feel like it tries to be shockingly violent just for the sake of it. And nothing here is really done very tastefully. The 2002 remake was violent, but it was done better. It was done pretty well, and the violence was just done better. It made more sense. It's kind of all I really have to say about it. It's an okay movie. It's not great. It's worth a watch, but like me, I have a feeling you'll probably not want to watch it again. I'm going to go ahead and give this a 2.5 out of 5. So, what do you guys think? Have you seen Leatherface? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Are you a Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan in general? And have you seen the new reboot on Netflix? What do you think about that if you have? And anyways, that's all I got, guys. I gotta go. Louis says hi. And thanks for stopping by. We will talk soon. Cheers.